Hi guys, Varun here from Fonearena, and here we have the Samsung Galaxy On5 and On7 for an unboxing today. Pretty interesting products from Samsung. They're doing something in the 10,000 to 13,000 price point. Fairly interesting devices for the price point. Samsung is taking on the likes of Xiaomi and Eureka U and all that. So we have devices from Samsung which are spec'd interestingly well. 5-inch and 5.5-inch screens on these devices. So let's actually start with the bigger device, the On7, which is the bigger of the two and also probably the most expensive of the two. So this is going to be priced somewhere around 13,000 and has slightly better specs. Has 1.5 gigs of RAM, has a 5.5-inch screen. So let's actually open it up. So we have the retail box here in orange and it's dual SIM. So it has the model number SMG600FY. As you can see, you have the Duos branding here, so it's dual SIM, and also regional language support, as you can see here. And yeah, so you have a 3000 mAh battery inside, 8 GB of internal storage, and memory card support up to 128 GB. So we'll take a look at all that. So let's actually get rid of this. Indian SIM card only, wouldn't work outside India unless you've used it for I think 5 minutes on Indian networks. So as you can see on the box here, the price itself is mentioned as 10,990. This is the MRP on the box. So I'm expecting the actual price should be lower than this, considering Samsung devices in the past. So I think it might be launched at 10,990 or probably even lower. So the On5 is priced at 8,990 on the box, the sticker price. So I'm also sure it's going to be priced much lower. These are made in India. That's something all brands are doing now, considering the government's push for that. So yeah, so let's actually open up the On7. These devices have been rumored for quite some time, and okay, so this is actually a gold color device. Okay, this reminds me of probably the Samsung Note series of devices. The design, you have the home button, seems pretty nicely designed, the devices, and we have this plastic on the outside. Let's actually get rid of it. So much of plastic all over the place, and wow, okay, it doesn't have the, I haven't taken the back cover and not put the battery yet. That's why it's probably feeling light. So let's actually take a look at the box here. Have the quick start guide and stuff. You have the probably pretty entry-level kind of earphones here in the box. Let's actually take a look at that. You have, I think, a single button on the earphones for controlling the calling, I assume. Seems fairly cheap. And you have the battery here. I think it's a 3000. So you have the wall adapter here. So you have the wall adapter made in India, these two, not in China. So it's a 1 ampere output 5 volt charger. Also get a micro USB cable, fairly common cable with all Samsung devices. And let's actually take a look at the battery here, which doesn't seem to be interested to come out. But here we have it. Wow, it's a pretty massive battery in terms of how it looks. It's a 3000 mAh battery. So let's actually put this aside and actually open the back cover. So yeah, so we can quickly take a look at the device. Okay, here's the groove here for opening the back cover. This is the On7. Okay, so as you open the back, you can see that it's a dual SIM phone. You have one SIM card tray over here and also a micro SD card slot, which takes in cards up to 128 gigs, which is a good thing. Some other devices in the price range, like Xiaomi devices, don't offer memory expansion, like the Mi 4i and probably the Mi 4 too. The Moto G3 does allow a memory card expansion. You also have the secondary SIM card here. Both use micro SIM cards, I assume. So let's actually power it on. It's supposed to be running on Android 5.1 Lollipop. So this is the Galaxy On7. It's powering on. Front is a 5.5-inch screen, a 5 megapixel shooter on the front. and a speaker, then standard Samsung keys for menu and back and home button. And wow, as you can see here, so you have setups in various Indian languages, and also I don't know what languages are these. This seems like Malayalam. This seems like Malayalam. I think this is probably some other language. This is Tamil, yeah, and I can't seem to find. I think this is probably Marathi. I don't really know. This is Hindi though. So it supports a bunch of Indian languages, which is a nice touch. So let's actually go with English. It's running on, I think it has a version of TouchWiz. So the screen seems fairly reflective, and but then I think TouchWiz seems a little faster. So as you can see, it's bundled with Opera Max and mixed radio apps. What is this? Something called Smart Manager. Yeah, to see the memory status and the phone's usage, utilization of various apps. So yeah, you have mixed radio here. This is a streaming music service. It was part of Nokia, now it's a separate company. So you also have Opera Max, which lets you save. Considering this phone is probably aimed at youth consuming a lot of data, so that's the reason there is 4G LTE on the phone. So on the back you have an 13 megapixel shooter on the On7, where it's an 8 megapixel on the On5. Keep getting confused between the two. I don't know why there are two devices pretty much with same specs, barely priced slightly differently. Just a screen difference and a spec difference internally. Yeah, so you have the loudspeaker, the LED flash. The side you have the power lock switch. On the bottom you have the micro USB port and the microphone and the 3.5 audio jack. On the left you have the volume rocker, and I haven't actually put the back cover fully. Yeah, as you can see on the top you have the Qualcomm branding here, considering it uses the Qualcomm Snapdragon 400 processor. It has 8 gigs of internal storage. Let's actually take a look as to how much of storage do you actually have. Wow, it seems actually fairly smooth, although TouchWiz does add some amount of overhead on the OS. So it's Android 5.1.1, and storage wise you have only about 4.35 GB. So you can actually add an SD card. Thank God they put the SD card in there, slot in there. Fairly decent phones. I think Samsung is finally realizing that they need to make phones at more affordable price points. So that's the reason probably these devices feels actually, once you look at it, it looks like an expensive Note device or a Galaxy device from yesteryears. But then it is actually decent for the price. It's say for example around 10,000, seems fairly decent specs. But then Snapdragon 400, you get phones with even I think Snapdragon 615 in this price point. So yeah, so 400 is a little slow. But then if you're getting good battery life, then yes, so then that's probably worth it. So it has a 3000 mAh battery on the inside, and you have 4G support up to 150 Mbps. And considering this, I think there is support on both the SIMs. Let's actually take a look at the SAR values, considering you guys do ask. So this is this quick start guide here. SAR information for this device is 0.384 watts per kilogram for the head, and body is 0.536 watts per kilogram. And this is within the guidelines of 2 watts per kilogram for India. So let's actually move on to the Samsung Galaxy On5. So that's the On7. So now we have the On5, the cheaper of the two. So the sticker price is 8990, and I'm sure the actual price could be lower, but then let's just assume that it's 8990. And for that you're going to get a 5-inch screen, 2600 mAh battery, an Exynos processor, and let's break the seal here. Feels like I'm chopping vegetables or something with that knife. So yeah, so considering these are affordable phones, so the packaging is not fancy at all, simple. I wish they make even the expensive phones packaging as such, not wasting paper and all that. So this is also dual SIM. So oh okay, this just looks like a little brother to this. Probably should have called it On7 Mini or something. It's called the On5. So it reminds me of what Samsung did last year, the A5, A7 and all that. So very similar, but too much plastic all around. So let's get all of this out of the way and get our hands on the device. So this has a 5-inch screen, and you have a 5 megapixel shooter here, 8 megapixel on the back, LED flash, speaker. On the inside you have Exynos processor powering the device. So has 1.5 gigs of RAM, 8 gigs of storage, and memory card slots, dual SIM. So let's actually open up the back cover so that we can get access to the battery. So here you can see dual SIM card arrangement, micro SD card slot, made in India. And yes, let's go ahead with the box contents. Oops. So you have the wall charger here. Same, I think this is made in Vietnam. The other one was made in India. So this is made in Vietnam. 5 volt 1 ampere charger. And you have the same set of earphones here as on the On7. Micro USB cable. You have the battery here. So you have a 2600 mAh battery, and it's made in Vietnam. And yes, actually let's put it on and power it on. So yeah, as I told you, this is the arrangement for the dual SIM cards. And let's actually click this in. As you can see, the back feels really nice. It doesn't take any fingerprints, but the front kind of takes a lot of fingerprints. It's a HD display, I think 720p probably, and it's a 5-inch screen. As you can see, very similar designs on the On7 and On5. This looks a little smaller, and I kind of like the way the On5 is. Feels like a Z3 compact or a Z5 compact in terms of the size, but not the specs though. Specs and all that. So yeah, so as you can see, multiple Indian language, regional language support here: Tamil, Hindi, Marathi, and all, Urdu, and all that. So let's actually stick to English. That is easier for us to demo it. So yeah, we have this all set up. I kind of like the form factor of this device. Feels pretty handy to use. Still some plastic on the device there. Why Samsung? Why so much plastic on this on the outside? We've been doing it for a long time now, but kind of like the device, the On5, how compact it is. The On7 is still okay, but the On5 is probably the right spot for one-handed use. So let's actually take a look at the settings and take a look at the Android version. It's Android 5.1.1. Battery level is at 61%. Let's actually take a look at the storage available. It's got 8 gigs of internal memory and 4.35 GB is only user accessible. Thank God for that micro SD card slot. Takes up to 128 gigs of storage on the card, and not really sure if it supports multitasking. So it doesn't really support that split view you get in the Samsung high-end phones. It does support dual SIM though. So it's actually powered by an Exynos chipset 3475, I believe, the chipset, and it's clocked at 1.3 GHz, and you have the same 1.5 gigs of RAM on both the devices, and it's got a slightly smaller battery, the On5. So as you can see, the On5 is actually slightly thinner. On7 is actually, surprisingly, the bigger device is actually thinner than the smaller device. As you can see, the On7 is thinner, the On5 is slightly bulkier. Yeah, also comes with mixed radio and Opera Max bundled. So you play music here, which is interesting. Couldn't find it on the other device, or let's maybe this skipped my eye. Let's actually check if there's play music on that too. Yeah, it's there inside, so it was on outside. Yeah, this is priced at I think 8,990. This is at 10,990. Interesting price points from Samsung. Okay, before that, let's quickly take a look at the SAR levels for the On5, considering most of you do ask us. So the On5 has a SAR rating for the head of about 0.4 watts per kilogram. The body SAR is 0.309. Pretty decent values there for the SAR rates for radiation. And yes guys, so that was a quick look at the On5 and On7 devices from Samsung, which are going on sale only on Flipkart soon. Pretty well, like not really highly spec, but decently spec devices with a decent price point. And I'm sure this would appeal to some users who are looking for a good 4G capable device with a decent battery life. We are going to be testing these phones for their battery life on Fonearena, so do check out our battery tests once they are up. so that will give you an idea as to how long these phones will actually last. And also do check out our other videos on the channel, and do subscribe to our channel on YouTube, and do check out our other pages including Facebook and Twitter. Thanks for watching. See you in the next video.